for someone that's new to it, or someone, someone that their only cold exposure is, you know, if the hot water runs out.
Sure.
what 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 would you say is some of like the really basic benefits? And we could dive into some of the deeper health benefits, but just surface level.
Yeah, so cold therapy is the process of exposing the body or parts of the body to cold elements, climates, exposure in general. Uh, and the benefits of cold therapy, kind of short term benefits, would be reduction in pain and inflammation. It releases great beta endorphins in the brain to boost your mood and energy levels. Consistent and regular exposure to the cold can help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. In long term, can also stave off cognitive decline. So there is a myriad of benefits around cold therapy, and we have this whole science page on our website. If you want to do like a deep dive of how does cold therapy affect the vagus nerve, how does it affect arthritis and psoriasis, things like that. We get really, really niche in a lot of different benefits of cold.
I love that, man. Um, you know, I think a lot of people probably can understand the first one, inflammation, pain down, right? People have been
Yeah.
jumping in ice baths and after football practice for years. Um, I'd really like to talk about like the anxiety and the depression element, whether it's severe or not. Um, that is clearly some people say that's the real global pandemic, right? That's
Sure.
clearly
Yeah.
a major issue right now, um, for whatever reasons. How does that work? And maybe you could give a little bit of the science, but also probably a little bit of the experience, since I know you've obviously spent a lot of time in the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was actually the reason I got into cold therapy. A stranger at the gym encouraged me to take a cold shower because of how unwell I looked. I was in a time of life where I was really stressed out, and I also blanketed all of like anxiety, depression, overwhelm as just stress in life. So I would just communicate, I'm really stressed, no matter what the emotion internally was going on. So I was very unwell. I was very much at a low point in life, just burning the candle at both ends, working, overworking, really in deep in like the hustle culture, constantly grinding, climbing a ladder that never ends. Um, and I honestly, I just physically looked unwell. And this guy told me how unwell I looked and then encouraged me to take a cold shower. Um, so this was way back before cold therapy was even popular. I went home and I took a cold shower to quote unquote manage stress. Um, and that first cold shower was transformational. I'm the type of person that when I get into something, I am all in or I am all out. Um, not a lot of like tiptoeing or dipping my toe in the water, if you will. So I jumped in a cold shower and I just kind of grit and bared it and stood in there, and yeah, it was incredible. I immediately experienced like that beta endorphin boost in energy levels and mood. What it did though is it really brought like a new level of presence and awareness to me in that moment. And it was extremely impactful. I got out of that cold shower and I felt good. And I hadn't been feeling good in general. I didn't realize how unwell I was feeling. So it was impactful enough that later that day, I went back into the cold, and it just like something started shifting in me. And I just consistently started taking cold showers. Uh, and it really affected my mood and my attitude. And that's one thing I think that we kind of miss. Like, our attitude is so important to how we show up in the world with ourselves, with the people we love, with the work that we do. And when we have like a crappy attitude, it really inhibits us from thriving and doing well. And I think I had a really bad attitude from all the stress and anxiety towards myself and towards others, but becoming really present in the moment helped me gain perspective and shift in my attitude and behavior. I started showing up better at home for my wife, better for my kids. Um, and yeah, it became so impactful. I wanted to share the power of cold with everybody everywhere. So that's kind of how the whole thing started.